Welcome back to the Foundry by Forge College. So in our last explainer for the Building dApps on Solana track, we totally nailed designing CI/CD pipelines for smart contract projects. But today we are jumping right into a literal manufacturing nightmare as part of our Advanced Data Handling Techniques module. We are tackling handling large data sets with workflow automation. Basically, how on earth do we process massive multi-gigabyte data sets off-chain without our node servers literally bursting into flames? Here is the blueprint for today. We're going to cover the large data problem, building the conveyor belt, deterministic transforms, on-the-fly validation, and finally, chunking and manifests. Let's get right into it. Starting with Section 1, the large data problem, or as I like to call it, preventing factory explosions. When you're dealing with massive volumes of complex data off-chain, your absolute #1 priority is really quite simple. Do not run out of memory. Try loading a 10 gigabyte file into memory all at once. It is a highly effective way to turn your laptop into a very expensive space heater. Your system memory just spikes uncontrollably and boom, you crash with an out-of-memory error. The smart alternative, streaming your data piece by piece. This keeps your resource consumption perfectly bounded so your automation script stays cool, calm, and collected. Okay, moving to Section 2, building the conveyor belts, which covers streaming and parsing. To actually solve that memory problem we just talked about, we need to build a sort of digital assembly line using Node.js. The core concept here is streaming parsing, which is really just a fancy way of saying we read and process data sequentially, piece by piece, rather than greedily swallowing the whole file at once. By reading our raw materials, which in this case are usually newline-delimited JSON files or JSONl, line by line, our memory profile stays completely flat. Seriously, it literally doesn't matter if your file has 1,000 records or 10 million. Your server won't even break a sweat. That brings us to Section 3, deterministic transforms, or shaping the widgets. As our data moves down the streaming conveyor belt, we have to make absolutely sure every single widget is shaped identically. There is a quote here that acts as the golden rule of our engineering floor. Design transforms so they preserve the deterministic properties you expect at serialization time. This is absolutely crucial. Why? Because downstream, we are going to be using strict binary serialization, like compact Borsh packing for Solana. We have to ensure predictable binary offsets and explicit length metadata stay perfectly intact across the whole pipeline. If the shape arbitrarily changes, your downstream deserializer is going to completely fail. To actually lock in this deterministic shape, our transform function performs 3 super specific in-memory actions. Step 1, we normalize the field order. Things like ID, payload, and tags must always appear in the exact same sequence. Step 2, we enforce explicit length prefixes, especially for things like arrays. And step 3, we safely coerce our data types. Notice we aren't writing any files during this step. It all happens strictly in memory, so the process stays totally pure, repeatable, and honestly, really easy to test.
All right, Section 4, on-the-fly data validation, which is basically our quality assurance checkpoint. Just like a real physical factory, we can't just trust that every widget is perfect. We need rigorous QA to inspect our newly shaped widgets on the fly, without ever hitting the emergency stop button on the conveyor belt. Let's be real, bad data is just a fact of life. But stopping a massive processing run because of one rogue comma, yeah, that is a total no-go. So here's the trick. We validate records dynamically. If a record fails our JSON schema validation, we just toss it into a structured error bin, like an errors.jsonl file, and we keep the assembly line moving. We log the failure, but the pipeline survives, making our run incredibly resilient and fully auditable later on.
And we've reached Section 5, chunking and integrity manifests, or as I like to say, shipping the product. Once our data is transformed and validated, we obviously can't just leave it piling up on the factory floor, right? We have to box it up efficiently for off-chain storage. Let's look at the full timeline of this flow. At T0, we ingest the JSONl file. At T1, it gets schema transformed. T2, it's validated on the fly. And then at T3, we buffer those validated records until they hit a threshold, say 5,000 records, and zip them into sequential compressed chunk files. Chunk 0001, chunk 0002, and so on. Now that our boxes are packed, we absolutely need a manifest. Think of the manifest as a camper-proof shipping receipt. It contains the chunk file names, the record counts, and integrity checksums. It essentially proves that the exact contents of our compressed boxes haven't been messed with. It's the defensible, auditable artifact we rely on for the whole process. If we take a peek at a mock manifest.json, you'll see exactly what I mean. We track the chunk file name,
the exact number of records in that chunk, the compressed byte size, and most importantly, the checksum. Generating these checksums on the fly gives us bit-level integrity, and that is exactly the cryptographic proof we're going to need later to create secure, verifiable pointers on the Solana blockchain. We get all the security without having to cram massive gigabytes of data directly on-chain. It is a total game changer.
So how do we actually know we didn't just build a digital garbage fire? Well, here are your pipeline success metrics. You want to see constant bounded memory, meaning a steady memory log that doesn't spike. You want 0 critical validation errors crashing the script, and you want checkpoint files created so you get resume semantics. This means if your power cuts out, you can just pick up right where you left off. Hit all 3 of those, and you're golden.
Finally, Section 6, securing your pipeline next, which is our final schematic for today. We have just built a massive, reliable off-chain data processing factory. But before we close the doors, we have to talk about security. I want to leave you with this provocative question to chew on. Which sensitive payload keys will require off-chain encryption before you generate your final manifest? Take a look at your own datasets and really think about what needs to be locked down. Be sure to head over to forge.college to dive deeper into this subject and learn how to secure these exact workflows with Solana-specific key management. Seriously, there is so much more Web3 stuff to explore there. Thanks for hanging out with me for this explainer, and I'll see you in the next one.